Hey, we're back and we're looking at hypothyroid patterns. And we left off by talking about an decreased TBG value last time, and the common cause of that is a high testosterone level, whether you have PCOS or you may be taking testosterone, and it lowers your TBG, which would cause you to be hypothyroid in the case of people in that condition. Well, today we're looking at the exact opposite condition where the TBG, which stands for the thyroid binding globulin, which is the taxi for the thyroid hormone to get to the cells, is now elevated too high. You have too much of this in the system, and it's actually binding up the thyroid hormone. So it's the opposite issue of last week, what we were talking about. And the common cause of this is actually excessive estrogen levels. So when testosterone's high, TBG is low. When estrogen's high, TBG is high. And in both cases, whether this is high or too low, you're going to have a hypothyroid condition. And again, this is the taxi that takes the thyroid hormone to the cells. Now, common symptoms of estrogen dominance, and this is just a short list, there's a lot more things that cause symptoms of estrogen dominance, but PMS, heavy menstrual bleeding, fibroids, endometriosis are huge when it comes to estrogen dominance. Weight gain, sleep issues, ovarian cysts, cancer, breast lumps and cancer, thyroid nodules and cancer, infertility, miscarriages, water retention, cellulite, mood swings, tender breasts, brown spots on the upper lip or the side of the face, irregular periods, hair loss, thyroid dysfunction, headaches, and also when you start having antibody responses, TPO-AB or TGB antibody responses. Now this is really interesting, this one over here, because what a lot of people don't know is that estrogen is actually a controller of the immune system. And it's one real big key that a lot of people haven't wrapped their head around, that when estrogen's high, immune function goes low. If estrogen's low, immune function actually can go super high. In either case, it can be an issue if your immune system is too active or underactive. In the case of a high estrogen, a lot of times what will happen is, since the immune system's low, you can get an infection like Epstein-Barr virus or some sort of pathogen that can compromise the gut, lead to an autoimmune condition. So it's very common to have people that are in this pattern to develop like a virus, then actually end up having Hashimoto's or some autoimmune, even Graves' disease, when the immune system is not functioning properly because of a hormone issue. And this is a huge link to this. So how do we balance this whole system out in this particular pattern? Well, there's four things we need to address. Number one is candida, or a yeast issue. And a lot of people that have these symptoms and have the high estrogen, when we test, a lot of times they have excessive yeast in their system. And yeast, when it comes to parasites, bacteria, and fungus, candida or yeast is the most difficult one to get rid of. And in order to correct this, that will need to be dealt with. Also, hormone balance between estrogen, progesterone, and obviously testosterone, but also your different types of estrogen, E1, E2, E3. E2 estradiol is the more difficult one to get rid of, and sometimes if you're not methylating it correctly, the liver gallbladder will have issues, which is very common when people have high estrogen. Their gallbladder will not be working properly because it helps chelate excessive estrogen out of the system. So they'll have rib pain, low back pain. They'll have the gallbladder symptoms, burping, belching, and bloating, and even pain up in the shoulder or the jaw on the right side. Also, environmental toxins is another big one when it ties into this. Heavy metals. And heavy metals, a lot of people don't know this as well. The reason why heavy metals are an issue, like aluminum, mercury, etc., is because they raise estrogen level. That's why the aluminum deodorant is such an issue and tied into breast cancer. And a lot of people have made the connection. The reason why those are an issue is because they raise estrogen levels. Now, women I saw a report where recently where they estimate women put on over 120 different type of chemicals every single day, which is at like crazy high. And a lot of these things are gonna disrupt your hormones and could cause a high estrogen level. Obviously, if you're taking birth control, it may definitely throw you off in that pattern, in this type of pattern, if you are taking something like that. So, in order to resolve this type of pattern, you just got to deal with the estrogen, and this pattern can be corrected by getting the hormones in check and dealing with these things over here. For more information, click on the link below.